We're the Hebrew Israelites coming out week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of America. First and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Harakak Wadash.
Double honors to our elders and apostles at Great Millstone that rule well. Salutations, peace, love, and blessing to a hopeful elect Akim that's pushing the word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth and in sincerity. Alright? So we're coming out to tell so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, alright, that they're the chosen people, the nation of Israel, according to the Bible. Alright? As you see, we have the sign, which is a 12 tribes chart, alright, which tells you biblically who these people are. You got the Negroes, the West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans, so on and so forth, down to Issachar, which are biblically the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel.
Let's get through this.
And so we come out here week in and week out, right, to warn the people that come in destruction and to let you know that the Bible is real, all right, that the words of the Bible are the truth, all right, everything that people have been taught their entire lives in these different churches, different philosophies and doctrines, all right, especially in Christianity and Catholicism, which is doctrines of the so-called white man, which is used to oppress the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans here in America, and keep them in a continual state of slavery and keep them in a continual oppressed state, you know? Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 30 and 5. Every word of God is pure.
Every word of Yahweh is pure, right? And this book is the words of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? Which Yahweh is the Heavenly Father's true name, all right? The Hebrew is the Lashon Kadash, that's the holy tongue, all right? That's the original language, is the Hebrew. And so the Most High and His Son, they had Hebrew names, all right? But you have to know those names in order to receive salvation, because the times are coming is nothing but destruction and darkness, man, all right? So every word of Yahweh is pure. Go ahead.
He is a shield unto them that put their trust in Him.
He is a shield unto them that put their trust in Him, all right? Which, if you're putting your trust in these words, which these words right here, it tells you that Yahweh Shai, that the Word was made flesh. So Yahweh Shai is the Word that came in physical form. He came in physical form, right? Because in the beginning was the Word, all right? So this book, these scriptures, these words are Yahweh Shai, man. All right, it tells you He comes in the volume of the book, all right, that is written of Him. All right, go ahead.
Add thou not unto His words, lest He reprove thee.
Yeah, add not unto His words, unless He reprove you, man. All right, because every word of this book is pure, and you have to be bestowed the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding of this Bible, man, in order to receive salvation. All right, in order for the Lord to look upon you with any type of compassion, man. Because anything outside of what we're teaching is a false doctrine, right? It's a lie. And Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai is going to destroy all the liars from off the face of the earth. So if you add to the word or you take away from the word, right, you're going to be destroyed when Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai brings His judgment upon the world, man. Go ahead.
And thou be found a liar. Two things have I required of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me.
That's right. So it said, remove far from me vanity and lies. Which all you have here in America is nothing but vanity and lies, man. All right? This place is nothing but snares and nets, man. All right? You got all these different doctrines. This here to trap up you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? Because the other nations, they don't have a promise of salvation. The other nations, they're gonna be destroyed, man. All right, and Israel, the Israelites are gonna rule over the earth. All right, get that in Psalm 149. All right, because what's gonna happen is that Yahweh Shai is gonna come back. He's gonna crack the skies with the chariots, man. All right, the chariots of Israel. All right, which are the angels. He's coming back in vehicles that's going to come from outer space, man. All right? And the elect that are sealed with this knowledge, all right, they're going to actually be taken up into what you know as UFOs, man, spacecrafts, man. All right? Psalm 149. And yeah, right here. Start at 6.
This is Psalm 149, verse 6. let the high praises of Yahweh be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints, praise ye the Most High.
Yeah, so that's what's coming. That's going to be the kingdom of heaven, man. All right, the Lord is coming to judge all these other nations, man, including 2/3 of the nation of Israel, which is the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, and the wicked upon the earth is the so-called white man today, which biblically they're known as the Edomites, man, which they're going into slavery, and that's what that's talking about. All right, because there's get Job 20 and start at verse 4. All right, because what's coming is the judgment of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua upon these other nations, and also upon the wicked of our own nation. All right, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because 2/3 of the nation of Israel, all right, are going to be destroyed here in America and wherever they're at around the world. You know what I'm saying? And so, what's coming is that all the wickedness that the so-called white men and these other nations have done to the nation of Israel, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, all right, sold you into slavery, pursued you with the sword, stole your lands, took you out of your lands, all right, brought you over here to a distant land for you to serve slavery. All right, all this stuff is according to the curses that were put upon you from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua for not following after the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. And that's what we're out here telling our people, is that in order for you to receive salvation, in order for you to get back to the Heavenly Father, you have to repent and get the understanding of these scriptures and follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. All right, that's how you find favor with the Lord, because the Lord's not going to deal with just some regular dude. All right, and He's coming to put the wicked. He's coming to put these other nations into subjection, in which they're going to receive punishments in the kingdom of heaven under the hands of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which in the kingdom of heaven, all you're going to have is Israelites. You're not going to have black people. You're not going to have Latino people. You're not going to have Native Americans. You're just going to have Israelites, man. Go ahead.
This is Job 20:4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short?
Yeah, the triumphing of the wicked is short. All right, according to Job 9:24, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. All right, so right now, the so-called white man has the earth in his hands. All right, and he's holding that hostage with the sword, man, because that was the blessing that was given to him. All right, according to the blessing that his father Jacob gave to him, he blessed him with the sword, and that's what he uses to rule over the world, man. That's what he uses to rule over Jakes. That's why you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are getting shot down in the street. Right? That's why these different people that's trying to come up south of the border, come up here, are getting picked off by the so-called white man. All right? Go ahead.
This is Genesis 29. So like 27. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above.
Yeah, that's what he told, because the real blessing was given to Jacob. Esau got a last-minute blessing, man. So it says your dwelling place is going to be of the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven, which is what you see right now. That's why you have all these different casinos and resorts on different islands and different places that you would consider third world countries, where the native people of those lands are being treated like shit and being oppressed. But at the same time, you have Edomites over there living it up at these different resorts and these different vacation spots, man. All right, and they get the best housing, they get the fattest of the land. All right, they're living comfortably in places like Costa Rica. All right, in places like Panama, Guatemala. All right, these Edomites are in the best of those lands, while the native people of those lands are living in squalor, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Yeah, that's what you see happening right now. All right, that's what you've been seeing going on. All right, it says, with the sword shall he live. All right, and that's how the so-called white man lives. That's how he rules the world, is with the sword, with nuclear missiles, man. All right, with his military armor. And they mainly is through the driving force of that is right here in America, Babylon the Great. All right, because America is known as Babylon the Great in the Bible. And if you understand prophecy, Babylon is going to be completely destroyed, man. All right, Babylon is going to get turned into a desert. So all you Americans, all you Babylonians are going to get hit with nuclear missiles soon, man. All right, because according to the prophecy, Russia, which is known as the Medes in the Bible, all right, is going to get into a nuclear war with America, Babylon. All right, the North country is going to fire missiles upon this place. All right, and all these other nations that have been held hostage by America, they're also going to shoot missiles on this place to completely destroy it. All right, according to the judgment of the Lord. All right, get Revelation chapter 6. Get Revelation 6 and start at 3. All right. Because it tells you in the scriptures that Esau, a great sword was given to him, man. All right, and that great sword is talking about the nuclear missile. Go ahead.
This is Revelation 6 and 3. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him.
Yeah, there went out another horse that was red, and you in the scriptures equate red to the so-called white man, because literally the name Edom means red. All right, go ahead.
Okay. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
Yeah, power was given to him to take peace from the earth. All right, because the heart of the king is in the Most High's hand. All right, he turns it whithersoever he will. All right, so really nobody has free will. Donald Trump don't got free will. Vladimir Putin don't got free will. The elites don't got free will. The Rothschilds, Rockefellers, so on and so forth, they don't got free will either, man. All right, so they're just playing their positions according to Yahweh Shem Yahushua's plan, man. All right, so power was given to him, to this red horse, which is a so-called white man. Power was given to him to take peace from the earth. That's why you have World War I, World War II. All right, since America's inception, you had nothing but chaos and war, man, and mass death. All right, go ahead.
And that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword.
Yeah, that they should kill one another. All right, they complain so much about these people killing each other, but you have World War I and World War II, in which the so-called white man, they were killing each other in mass numbers, man, by the millions. All right, white on white crime. Go ahead.
And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse.
Oh, man, that's it. Read that again one more time.
This Revelation 6 and 3. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red, and the power was given to him that sat there, that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
And there was given unto him a great sword, which goes back to that blessing in Genesis 27. All right, it said, "By the sword thou shalt live," man. All right, which it tells you in the scriptures. Get Revelation 13 and 10. All right, because it just like when Yahweh Shai, which is the Lord, who people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, when Yahweh Shai was being taken by the Pharisees to be given over to the Romans, all right, Peter cut off the ear of one of the people that was grabbing him up, and Yahweh Shai told Peter not to do that. He said, because if who live by the sword shall die by the sword. All right, so if Esau lives by the sword, his blessing was a sword, he's going to die by the sword, man. All right, it tells you that his sword is going to enter into his own heart, man. All right, that Esau is going to destroy himself with his own blessing. All right, go ahead.
This is Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Yeah, so he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. All right, so you had the transatlantic slave trade. Get Jeremiah 50 and 33, Baba Kashan. All right, because according to Jeremiah 50 and 33, the 12 tribes of Israel.
Your other partner.
What's up?
Your other partner.
Oh, he's not here. He's doing his own thing. So according to Jeremiah 50 and 33, it tells you that the 12 tribes of Israel, they went into slavery together. Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together.
They were oppressed together. All right. That's why around the time of the 1600s, you had the so-called Negroes, which is a tribe of Judah, which was being sold from the west, from I believe West Africa, was being brought over here to America to serve slavery. At the same time, you also had the Latinos and the Native American tribes that were also being sold off into slavery. Right? You had the Native Americans, which were being taken to missions, which were these different Catholic missions that were over there in Canada. All right. In which they were putting pure hell upon the Native Americans over there, man. The tribe of Gad, all right? And it was called the transatlantic slave trade. So what you had was the 12 tribes being sold between Europe and America, all right, all across the globe. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Also, in those times, they also brought a lot of slaves from the west coast of Africa to Mexico. There's a story from Gaspar Yanga, that's his name. He led a rebellion. He was one of the slaves brought on the slave ships. He led a rebellion against the Spaniards, and they fled into the mountains and they flourished. There was a lot of them. He made a separate company or whatnot, and that was going against the Spaniards.
Yeah. So, hey man, the nation of Israel, all the 12 tribes, they had to serve this oppression together, man. All right, it didn't just happen to Judah, even though Judah caught the most hell and is catching the most hell to this day. But all the other tribes, they also suffered from this oppression. Had their lands raped, had their people raped. All right, had all their resources stolen from them. All right, got driven out of their lands. All right, set in different lands. Just look at the tribe of Gad, man. All right, Esau tried to completely exterminate Gad, and then put them on small reservations around America, and said that this is your plot of land now, which this whole land is stolen land, man. California, the place that we're standing on right now, right here in San Jose, California. California was once a part of Mexico. You have New Mexico, you have Texas, you have what's the other one that's down there? I'm thinking of it's another border state. Texas. I can't think. Arizona, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Arizona was a part of Mexico too, man. All right, so this is stolen. This is all stolen land. That's why. It tells you that Esau is going to vomit up all the riches, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why all this tension is happening right now. That's why there's going to be a race war. That's why there's going to be a civil war. All right. That's why America is going down the toilet, because of all the wickedness that this place was built upon. All right. Because judgment wasn't played out immediately. All right. The Lord is bringing His judgment in these times, man. He didn't forget about everything that happened during the 1600s, from the 1500s on up. You know what I mean? From the 1400s on up, when the Spaniards came over here. All right, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua never forgot about any of that. All right, so-called white men and these other nations, they still have hell to pay for everything that they've done to these people that's on these signs. All right, including the Chinese, including the Japanese, including the Arabs, including the East Indians. All right, they were all in league with the so-called white man. All right, and taking down the nation of Israel, and they were giving each other. Tells you they were giving each other gifts, man. Which was you Jakes, man. Which was you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You all were the gifts, all right, that they were sending one to another. The other nations, they were sending one to another, man. All right, they were sending slaves to one to another. All right, going all the way even back into the Roman times, you had the gladiators. Those were Israelite slaves, man. All right, they were made to fight against each other, to fight against legionnaires, to fight against lions and tigers and shit, man. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
The Spartans,
The Spartans. You know what I mean? The nation of Israel at one point in time ruled over Europe, man. After the fall of Rome, that's why you had the Israelites which were taken into slavery as well and brought to the different islands. Okay, brought to Jamaica and also what's the other one? I can't think of it right now. Read that again though, Baruch Hashem. Jeremiah.
Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah.
Yeah, because there's a separation between the northern and the southern kingdom. So you had the Negroes, the darker tribes, which you had the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Benjamin, the tribe of Levi, which today is the Negroes, West Indians, the Haitians. They were known as the southern kingdom. And then you have the other 10 tribes, the Latino and Native American tribes, are the northern kingdom. All right. So when it talks about Israel, it's talking about the northern kingdom. When it's talking about Judah, it's talking about the southern kingdom. Go ahead. Read it again, Baruch Hashem.
Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
That's right. They refused to let them go. All right. So to this day, all right, you still got so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that are in slavery here in America. All right, filled up in the prison systems, which when you look into what the prison systems are, they're actually a privatized corporation, man. All right, they're making money off of the people that's in those prisons, that's in the penitentiaries, that's in the jailhouses. All right, they're using them for hard labor, for slavery, man. All right, giving them 25 cents a day, 50 cents a day. All right, while they're making loads of cash off of them, man. That's modern day slavery under the 13th Amendment.
Yeah, and it's spiritual too, because in the Mexican-American War, the Irish, they left to go fight with Mexico. That's spiritual. They were oppressed together, you know. And now there's a town in Mexico where they play Mexican music on bagpipes. And you know, these people don't look Mexican, but it's through the spirit. You know? It's spiritual.
Yeah, man. Everything is spiritual, man. That's why you have Irish people that vibe with Jake, man. You know what I mean? Like you look at real Irish people, they're in the ghettos too. If you go to Europe, you go to like the United Kingdom, all right, you go over there to like Britain and England, all right, you have the Irish that's in the hood with Jake, man, all right, living side by side with him. Even here today, you have a lot of so-called white people living in the hood. And there's a lot of them that are Jakes, man. There's a lot of them that are Irish, especially out there in like Boston, New York. You know, that's where the majority of them touched down during the times of the potato famine, which that was just the British starving the Irish out, man. You know what I mean? What?
Yeah, and also when they got here, they had signs up where it said Irishmen need not apply. You know, they were discriminated against heavily in those times.
It's spiritual, because during the times of like the civil rights movement, the Irish scene with the tribe of Judah was doing over here in America, and they formed their own civil rights movement, which is where you have a day called Bloody Sunday when British paratroopers came and started mowing down Irish people, because they were protesting against British occupation. All right. So hey, man, the tribes were oppressed together, man. That's why you have in the scriptures you have Israelite foreigners, man. Get Isaiah 11:11. All right, because it goes into that, to the Israelite foreigners, man. It tells you that out of all nations, that Jake was scattered amongst all nations, man. All right, and even back during the times when they were lynching Jake, if you had the spirit of an Israelite, they would fuck you up too, man. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 11, verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an sign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off.
That's That's right. So it tells you right there that the Lord is going to save the remnant of his people that's going to be left from all these different countries, man, from all these different nations. All right, so Israel was scattered amongst all nations. That's why you have Israelites that look like these other nations too, man. All right, that's a part of the doctrine. All right, it's super spiritual. That's something that a lot of people, they can't grasp that concept, man. You know, they can't grasp that concept, but that's the truth, man. All right. That's why you see certain Jake. You might see a straight up Moabite looking dude. The guy that has the spirit of a Jake, man. That has salt. He got flavor. He's got swagger. You know what I mean? Go to the book of Tobit, chapter 13. All right, because it tells you in the scriptures to preach this to all nations, man. All right, and right here in America, you have all nations. Right here in America, you have every nation under the sun that's dwelling in this place. That's why this is Babylon the Great, man.